I'm Max the Pirate, and I just hit over 12,000 subscribers. I'm catching up to you, Coughlin. You better watch your back. What's the worst job you've ever had? I would say the worst job I've ever had was Walmart. Not because it was hard, it was probably the easiest job I've ever had in my life. And again, any job I ever had after basic training seemed easy because, well, civilian jobs are cake mode compared to the military. It was probably the worst job for me because the dumbasses weren't the people I was working with, the dumbasses were the people I was working for. During my last week at working at Walmart, there was an incident involving me and another person working there named Janice. Janice was a cranky, old, crazy, fundamentalist Christian homophobe slash racist. And I hate those people. I was told a few stories about this woman and how she preached hellfire and damnation and threatened homosexuals who worked at Walmart, and I thought to myself, well, wouldn't it be fun to get a rise out of this person and get her to reveal her homophobia to me? A friend of mine and I were walking down the dry grocery section after we completed the entire day's work, and we were bored, and that's what we usually did. We come up to a woman who was sitting there stocking the shelves, and Corey, my friend, said, "Hello, Janice." I looked at this woman and I said, "You're Janice? Janice? I then looked at Corey and said, "Is this the Janice you were talking about?" He looks at me and says, "Yeah, that's the only Janice who works here." I then looked back at Corey and I said to him, "You lied, she doesn't have a lesbian haircut." And then I walked away. Janice walks up to me and, not knowing how to handle the situation, tells me that I better walk with her to the manager's office. When I refused, she grabbed me by my arm and tried to physically drag me to the manager's office, despite the fact that I told her to let go and yanked my arm away several times and told her that it was assault. She grew frustrated, dropped my arm, and then stormed off to the manager's office. 10 minutes later, my shift was over and I tried to clock out, but I was stopped by a manager who pulled me into his office. Management asked me to explain what happened, and I did. I had no shame in what I said. After I explained what happened, management went on this long spew about how I insulted her and how what I said was wrong. Which really didn't make any sense to me, because what I said was completely harmless, and the only person who would have a problem with what I said, which was a homosexual reference, was someone who felt homosexuality was wrong, and for management to imply that was wrong. To me, anyway. They gave me a warning and essentially told me that the situation was now done and over with. But I wasn't about to roll over and take that. I stood up and explained to management that the only reason Janice was upset was because I made a reference to homosexuality and that the statement I made was completely and utterly harmless. But because management decided to take her side and imply to me that homosexuality was wrong, they were in violation of the Equal Opportunity Employment Restoration Act of 2007, and that I would like an apology from management for handling the situation in the way that they did. And then I went ahead and expressed to management that I was going to go home and file a police report for being assaulted by Janice. And that if they didn't fire Janice for what she did to me, that I would call the police and have her arrested while she was working, and that I would really look bad for Walmart. Management was bamboozled. I went home, I filed a police report, Janice was arrested, and she was fired. The coolest thing about this story is that nobody at that place liked Janice, not even management. I was everybody's hero. They bought me pizza and ice cream and cupcakes, and we all threw a huge party because I got rid of the crazy fundamentalist Christian who hated gays and blacks. Okay, fine, that didn't really happen, but screw you, I like to tell stories, and you like to listen to them.